Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we are going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Amanda Lemos and Jessica Andrade. But before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so we've got a main event coming up here this Saturday between Amanda Lemos and Jessica Andrade. This is an interesting fight. Both women are at very different points in their career. You know, on the one hand, we've got Jessica Andrade. Now, think about her for a second. She was campaigning at 115 pounds. That's what the fight's at tonight or on Saturday. She's returning to that division, but that's where she was for a long time. And in recent memory, she's really only got 3 losses. But those 3 losses are to the absolute top of the division, right? Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Rose Namajunas, the current champ, and Zhang Weili. All former champs, then you got Rose Namajunas as the current champ. Fought her twice, slammed her on her head once, and then ended up losing the rematch to her. So it's an interesting spot because you got to figure those women are universally regarded as the top 3. Rose has the belt now, but they're the top 3. So if any one of them have the belt, it's going to be tough for Andrade to argue that she's deserving of another shot, right? Particularly when she got beat the way that she did in most by Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, right? And then already fought Rose twice and lost the rematch. So in a situation like that, she does what a lot of fighters typically do. If you think your time at one division has kind of ran its course, don't think you have a clear path to the belt, you move up a weight class. So she moves up a weight class and fights someone who's like universally regarded as kind of the number 1 contender, been there for a long time, goes out there and beats the majority of women at that weight. At 125 pounds, that's Katlyn Chookagian. Jessica Andrade goes out there and stops her in the first round. Has the fight pretty much the way she wants. She's powerful, man. She likes going in there and throwing hard shots. That's what she does. She's able to get the fight up against the cage. She's able to get Chookagian down for a minute and ends up able to stop her with body shots. Looks super impressive. Earns herself a shot at the belt at 125 pounds. Goes in there against Valentina Shevchenko and gets absolutely smoked. I mean, look, that's what Valentina does to women. Valentina at 125 pounds and at 135 pounds, unless her name's Amanda Nunes, goes out there and just absolutely puts it on people. She's just like a force of nature, right? So not really like all that surprising that she was able to go out there and do that to Andrade. Then Andrade goes out there and fights again at 125 pounds against Cynthia Calvillo and once again comes away with the victory. So 2 out of 3 at 125, but gets dominated by the champ. So what does she do? Returns back to 115 pounds, right? She figures she's like, I'm only 30 years old. Eventually, somehow, something's going to shake loose in the division. If I just go here and I keep winning, this is going to be my best shot at the belt. This is where I'm most competitive. 115 pounds is the weight for me. I think when she went up to 125, she realized, one, that, Valentina probably isn't going anywhere for a long time, and she just got absolutely smoked. And 2, if she sticks around there longer, that not being her natural weight, she'll probably end up getting losses quicker than she would against the top contenders at 115 pounds. So we see her on Saturday returning to 115 pounds. Okay, now when you think of Jessica Andrade, you think of just a powerhouse, right? She's just someone who likes to come in there and wants to throw all her shots, hard shots with bad intentions, doesn't even like to throw straight shots. Big left hooks, big right hands, likes to go with leg kicks. They're not really statistically going to the leg kicks, but when she does, you can tell that she's practiced them. They're hard, man. Look like she's ready to chop down a tree with those things. And then, of course, her bread and butter, the slams, the wrestling, right? Remember when that's how she won the belt, slamming Rose Namajunas up, slamming her on her neck. Moves up to 125, slams Chookagian, right? So she's got that power. She's known for that. And that's her thing. That's how she goes in there and gets her work done, right? And at 115 pounds, she's particularly beastie. Now, standing across from her, Amanda Lemos. Now, she's not quite as well known. Hasn't gone out there and fought for the title at all. Hasn't gone out there and done these big things against big name people yet. This is her biggest fight. Her last fight was her biggest fight against Angela Hill. Now this one, she's actually getting the main event against the former title holder and Jessica Andrade. But let me tell you something. She may not be well known, but Lemos is a beast. She is something else. Her Muay Thai is brutal, but it's also both beautiful. So you look at what she did in her fight against Sousa. Just ferocious right hand. You look at what she did in her fight against Conejo. Just ferocious shots. Goes in there against Angela Hill. Wobbles her in the first round and continues throughout the fight to land a series of really good shots. Now, that one's up for debate on whether or not she won that. A lot of members of the media gave it to Angela Hill. That's fine. right? We're not debating whether or not she won that fight. We're talking about how she looked in it, and she looked good. She looked like her striking is world class. She looked like she's coming off the break with elbows. She's landing hard shots in all of her fights. She goes out there and she throws her shots with bad intentions. She's got good counter punching, quick hair trigger with that right hand. We saw her do a lot of damage with that. Right? We saw her do a lot of damage with those leg kicks. She's so fast. She doesn't believe in a high work rate. She doesn't believe in using jabs to set her shots up. She just goes out there and she wants to land hard shots, but she is crisp, she is accurate, she is on point with that striking. And I think that's what makes this fight so interesting. Right? Styles make fights, and when you look at these two, you think about it, where have people seen success against Jessica Andrade? You know, Zhang Weili outpowered her. Just went out there and just smoked her within like the first minute of the fight. Jessica Andrade is all about power. Zhang Weili showed her no. I'm all about that striking power and got her out of there. You saw Rose was able to piece her up from the outside basically for the most part. Just beautiful boxing and angles and footwork, and able to draw her shots out and counter her and move around in small circles. You saw Joanna Jędrzejczyk able to do in a way kind of do a combination of the both, because she was able to outwork her, she was able to land shots, but she was also able to land hard ones. So we know what Jessica Andrade is going to do. She's going to come forward. She's going to press the action. An ideal fight for her is going to be one where she backs you up against the cage, maybe lands a couple hard shots coming in. Maybe a big left hook to the body. Maybe a big left hook to the body and a right hand upstairs. But she wants to push you back up against that cage, potentially get you in the clinch, pick you up, slam you on your head, land some good ground and pound, get you out of there that way. We know what Amanda Lemos wants to do. She wants to be aggressive, walk you down. But she wants to manage that distance and just land hard strikes until she's able to get you out of there. If she gets you hurt, she's got a ferocious finisher's instinct, right? So when I think about this one, and I think about these two women meeting in the center of the octagon, neither one really wanting to take a backward step. How's this one going to go? Look, Jessica Andrade is shorter with a shorter reach. Pretty much the same story in every one of her fights. That's how this one is. She's going to come forward. She's going to try to land the big shots. Lemos is going to time her. She's going to try to keep that distance, and when she comes in, she's going to try to counter with big, hard shots, particularly that right hand. I wouldn't be surprised if she throws one or two leg kicks from the outside, hard leg kicks, mind you, and she's going to try and time her with the right hand, and if she hurts her, she's going to try to finish up hard. That's her path to victory. Lemos has to land hard shots and then go for the finish, right? Similar to what we saw Zhang Weili. If she could avoid the clinch at all, I'm sure she would, but even on the inside, when she gets to that clinch, she's got good at strong elbows. Andrade kind of has two paths to victory. One, she can kind of do it in the way that we saw her see success against Rose in the rematch, right? Towards the very end of the fight, she was able to land a big, hard shots. We got that eye all swelled up. We can see it against Caitlin Chikagian, is able to land hard shot to the body. We saw it against Cavillo. She's able to land hard shots. She's able to land hard shots and hurt women, even though that's not really her bread and butter. We think of her as the wrestler, but she's able to land these hard shots. She's also got the wrestling. Think about how she beat Rose the first time when she won the belt. Went in there, picked her up, slammed her on her neck, fight's over. Right? So she could see success either one of those ways, right? Lemos, you know what she's going to do. She's not the grappler. She has to go in there and she has to land the hard shots. And I think she's going to choose to do it off the counters because Andrade is so aggressive. And it's really a toss-up because I could see this one going either way. No matter what you told me about this fight. If you told me Lemos won it with by catching Andrade coming in off a hard counter and then following up and finishing, I would believe you. If you told me that Andrade won it either one of those ways, I would believe you. Like, any of those stories are perfectly believable, which makes this fight so interesting. However, got to go with something here. Got to pick one. I'm going to pick Amanda Lemos. I think she's going to come through as the underdog. I think she's getting plus 150, which is nice odds. I think she finds a way to make it work. I think Andrade just doesn't use enough defense, doesn't work angles and footwork, enough upper body movement, enough head movement. I think she's just going to be there, and Lemos just throws hard, man. So I think she's able to catch her with one of those right hands, stun her, finish up. I think she's able to land some hard leg kicks, possibly slow her down, make her wonder a little bit about when she's going to come in, which creates that perfect setup. So, but be cautious on this one if you're thinking about putting anything on it, because like I said, there was a clear path to victory for Jessica Andrade. So let me know what you guys think. Is the 5 rounds going to make a difference? We know Andrade has been there before. This is going to be the first time for the most. Is the power and the striking and the heavy striking and the grappling of Andrade going to be too much, or Is Lemos kind of on her way up, and this is gonna be after a win over Angela Hill? This is gonna be a real name on her resume, and we're gonna have to start to consider her a real contender in the division. Let me know what you guys think.